Marcus Aurelius famously said that when you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. I think Marcus Aurelius is one of the most interesting people ever. You know, usually when someone has a lot of power, they might do bad things. But Marcus is different. He wasn't born into a royal family. He was chosen when he was young, just like Nero. And you know what he did with his power? He shared it with his brother. In today's episode, I wanted to give you some of my favorite lessons from the one and only Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king. If you want to learn about the great principles and ideas that this man lived by, I think this video is for you. Rule number 1. Always think of others first. Here's a great story about Marcus Aurelius. So, there was this terrible sickness was going on in Rome, like a super bad flu that made a lot of people sick and even took some lives. The whole city was in trouble, and everyone was really sad and helpless. Now, Marcus, who was a leader at that time, but he knows how to act as a leader as well. So he didn't just sit in his fancy palace doing nothing. Nope. He decided to sell all his fancy stuff like jewels and fancy chairs to help out. He said, "I don't need these things when others are struggling." It's like when a true leader of a company takes a pay cut or a sports player changes their contract to help their team. Marcus showed us that true greatness is when you put others first, not just yourself. And that's why I really like this story about him. Rule number 2. There's always an alternative route. Closed doors don't mean the end. They're invitations to explore alternative paths. When one capacity is temporarily halted, Stoicism teaches us that others remain open to us. This is where the magic happens. The opportunity to practice virtue, to strive for excellence, and to adapt to change based on what life throws at us. Our power lies not in controlling what happens, but in choosing how we respond. Marcus Aurelius suggests that external circumstances might limit us, but our internal choices to practice virtues, forgive, and evolve remain boundless. In the grand tapestry of life, obstacles are threads waiting to weave new paths. Life's obstacles are not dead ends. They are stepping stones to new beginnings. The Stoics urge us not to see impediments as roadblocks, but as opportunities for growth and learning, adapting, integrating experiences, and turning obstacles into new paths is the true essence of the Stoic philosophy. Rule number 3. Progress one small step at a time. Ever find yourself in the knowing, doing gap? We often have all the information, the plans are set, but when it comes to execution, things seem to falter. Marcus Aurelius speaks to this, highlighting that the challenge lies not in what we know, but in what we do. Choosing tomorrow over today can be a common trap, and it's this delay that keeps us from reaching our goals. Knowing what needs to be done is one thing, but executing it is another challenge. Marcus Aurelius points out that the choice to be good lies in the present, not tomorrow. Procrastination often gets the better of us, delaying the diet, the novel, or household chores. If knowledge alone sufficed, we'd all be in peak condition. The Stoics emphasize the discipline of action because, in the end, it's not about what you say or think. It's about the concrete steps you take, starting something new, finishing a project. It all begins with that initial, crucial step. Progress is achieved step by step, and the beauty is, no one can hinder you from taking that initial stride. Rule number 4. Free yourself from the weight of anxiety. The pandemic, with its unexpected slowdown, became a unique space for self-reflection. We assumed that eliminating external stressors would automatically alleviate anxiety. However, the Stoic wisdom, echoed by Marcus Aurelius, teaches us otherwise. It's not always about what's happening around us. Oftentimes, the root of our anxiety lies within. I feel uneasy because of something, or I'm anxious because of something requires a lot of self-awareness. The person is sharing their experience during the pandemic when everything slowed down. Surprisingly, even though they had fewer external things to worry about, their anxiety didn't decrease. They realized that the anxiety wasn't really about external things like work or family, it was within them. The breakthrough came when they understood that they could let go of anxiety, not because external things changed, but because they changed how they responded to it. It's like realizing, oh, it's not the outside stuff causing stress, it's me. It's an invitation to delve deeper into self-discovery, to understand that, ultimately, it's us. Rule number 5. A good beginning sets the stage for success. Marcus Aurelius had a morning routine that was probably better than us, I promise. Even though he didn't really want to wake up early and didn't have to, he made himself get up early. Why? Because he believed humans were meant to do meaningful work, not just stay warm under the covers. So, he'd rise early, and the first thing he did was sit down with his journal. He wrote down his private thoughts. And this practice survived through history because it made him a better person. After that, he got to work on his most important task of the day. Marcus Aurelius believed in concentrating like a Roman, doing each task as if it were the last thing he'd ever do. His morning routine wasn't random. It set him up for success. He knew that starting well is like completing half the work. So, should you start your day with a morning routine that empowers you right from the beginning? Ever wondered what the first thing Marcus Aurelius did was? Picture this. He'd sit down with his journal. The private thoughts of the most powerful man in the world were preserved through meditation and journaling. Why? Because it made him better. Imagine starting your day by reflecting on your thoughts, just like Marcus Aurelius. It's a powerful practice that survived the test of time. Rule number 6. Hold yourself to high standards. And how can we do that? The only thing which will help us is something called self-discipline. No one else is doing it. You chose to do it for yourself. When you're learning, studying, and trying to be better, remember? It's about applying this to you and only you. Marcus Aurelius said, "Be tolerant with others, strict with yourself." The whole point is to become a better master of yourself, not to act superior or controlling towards others. Self-discipline is about controlling yourself, not others. So focus on your discipline and let others handle their own mistakes and ways of doing things. In a world where it's easy to point fingers and judge, self-discipline teaches us to turn that focus inward. It's about controlling your reactions, your habits, and your choices. When you embrace self-discipline, you become the architect of your destiny. So, let go of the need to control others. Instead, channel that energy into mastering yourself. Rule number 7. Free yourself from the burden of resenting people. Marcus didn't really like people. You can't miss that when you read his meditations. He starts by talking about how annoying and frustrating others can be. Even the famous quote about the obstacle being the way is him talking about people getting in our way. But here's the twist. He sees an opportunity in these obstacles. It's a chance to practice the philosophy he believes in, to be good when others aren't, to be just in the face of injustice, to be temperate when others are not. For the Stoics, people might be frustrating. They might be obstacles, but they're also the way, a challenge that helps us become better. So, instead of resenting people, use them as a way to grow and improve. Marcus encourages us to view them as catalysts for our personal growth. Yes, they might be frustrating. And yes, they might present obstacles. But just like all obstacles, they're also the way forward. They're challenges we can rise to meet, making us better for wrestling with the difficulties that people bring into our lives. Rule number 8. Question if this is truly necessary. Does this really matter? We're all busy, but how much of what keeps us busy is actually important? Marcus Aurelius suggests asking this question about everything you do and say. Most of the things we do aren't essential. We do them because someone asked or told us to, or it's just how we've always done it. If you knew you were dying tomorrow, would you keep doing it the same way? Probably not. Asking, "Is this essential?" helps cut out things you don't need to do. You'll end up doing fewer things, but you'll do them better. It's about questioning if what you're doing is necessary, doing it the right way, and getting the double benefit of doing fewer things more effectively. By adopting this essential mindset, Marcus believes we eliminate the unnecessary and gain a double benefit, doing fewer things, but doing them better. It's about quality over quantity, focusing our energy on what truly aligns with our purpose and values. Rule number 9, living in the past. We all have those moments when we find ourselves drifting back to the past, reminiscing about the good old days. Nostalgia has a way of wrapping us in a warm embrace. But is it always a comforting place to be? While a trip down memory lane can be delightful, dwelling on the past might be holding us back. Are those cherished memories hindering our growth? Often, we find ourselves fixating on unfinished stories from our past, relationships, opportunities, or decisions left hanging. But what if, by constantly looking back, we're missing out on the incredible chapters waiting to unfold in our present? It's time to break free from the chains of the past. Remember, it's okay to cherish memories, but living in them might rob us of the magic that today holds. Let's release what no longer serves us and step into the beauty of the present moment. I've got some exciting news for you. We have a treasure trove of empowering content right here on the Roars of the Wise. Take a look at some of the snippets from our other videos. Whether you're looking for motivation, lifestyle tips, or a dose of positivity, our channel has something for everyone. Click on the playlist or video that catches your eye. Dive into our video vault and explore the empowering content we've created just for you.